snapping the Rays' 4-game winning streak. Tonight, rookie right-hander Wade Davis returns to the hill for the first time since his complete game shutout versus the Orioles. It's the Rays and the Mariners on Fox Sports Florida. Tonight, the homestand continues as we welcome you to Tropicana Field. This Game 5 of the homestand, Game 2 of this 2-game set, as the Tampa Bay Rays play host to the Seattle Mariners. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Todd Callis and Whit Watson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard as the Rays wrap up the homestand, trying to break even here in this 2-game set with Seattle. Carl Crawford's back in the starting lineup. He has hit well, as you know, over the last couple of weeks, picking up a number of extra base hits in the process, and he continues to swing a very hot bat against the Seattle Mariners.
Fun to watch him really close strong. It is a long season. Crawford occasionally will get that day off here at home like he did in last night's game. Still got in there in a pinch hit role and stayed in the game. And you can see over the last 13, Carl Crawford hitting .367. He was hovering right around the 300 mark for a while. So it's good to see him get well above that. He'll beat out the infield hit, and then he'll drive the ball over the wall as well. CC having his finest year in the big leagues in 2009.
And a treat tonight for the Rays as the 24-year-old right-hander coming off his first big league win against Baltimore his last time out, a shutout in the process. He's on the mound again tonight for the Rays.
It'll be real interesting to watch how he comes back after a 124-pitch performance. Joe Madden says no matter what, he's not going to come close to that total tonight. Expect him closer to 100 pitches, but what a treat it was in Baltimore at Oriole Park at Camden Yards to watch him go 9 innings of 4-hit shutout baseball. Struggled in the first inning, got out of it with a nice catch by Gabe Kapler. Then after that, he was absolutely on top of his game, striking out 10 in that shutout.
And we'll take a look at our Verizon Bios pitching matchup. It will be Wade Davis with a record of 1-1. And it will be Brandon Morrow, the hard-throwing right-hander on the hill for Seattle. He's divided time in his brief major league career between the bullpen and now the rotation, making his 9th start. He is 1-4 overall. This will be his 25th appearance of the season. Rays and the Mariners conclude their season series. We'll be back with the starting lineups and the first pitch from Tropicana Field in just a moment. Toyota dealer during Toyota's national clearance event. Get amazing deals on a great selection of new Toyotas. Toyota, moving forward. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. From Tropicana Field tonight, Rays and the Mariners wrap up the homestand. First pitch just moments away. Before we get to that, let's go to the field. Here's Whit Watson.
Dwayne, it's a Wednesday night at Tropicana Field, a Web Wednesday, meaning we are interactive throughout the broadcast here on Fox Sports Florida. We'll show you first the results of our interactive poll. We've had this up for the last week. Who do you think has been the Rays MVP this season? 56% of you said Ben Zobrist has been the Rays' most valuable player. That's last week. Here comes this week's poll. You can go to fsfloриdatv.com or sunsportstv.com and vote. Which Rays player the most deserving of a Gold Glove this season? Bartlett, Crawford, Longoria, Pena, or Upton? You can vote online. You can also submit your questions tonight during the game at ask.therays@fox.com. And there they are. They're pulling out their research, getting the media guides ready as Dwayne and Todd will answer your question. Ask.therays@fox.com. And we also hope to have Carlos Pena up in the booth with those guys at some point during the broadcast, shooting for the third inning. And when Los makes his way up, you can submit your questions for him as well. Again, ask.therays@fox.com. And your question could get answered on TV during the broadcast on Fox Sports Florida. Guys, get ready.
We'll do the best we can with what we've got. Beyond that, we can't promise anything. Except here's the starting lineup for the Seattle Mariners tonight. It's going to be Ichiro Suzuki leading off in right field. Franklin Gutierrez in center field. The number 3 hitter, the difference in last night's game, Jose Lopez. Ken Griffey Jr. the DH. Adrian Beltrez at third with Kenji Shojima behind the plate. Jack Hanahan's at first. Josh Wilson has spent some time with the Rays at shortstop. Michael Saunders is in left field. He'll bat ninth.
We get to watch Wade Davis making his 4th Major League start. His last start, a complete game shutout, a brilliant outing in Baltimore. This is his 2nd home start. Last time he went 7 innings of 1-run baseball against the Tigers. That was his Major League debut back on the 6th of September. Let's take a look at the defense behind him. In left field, once again, it'll be Carl Crawford, B.J. Upton in center, Ben Zobrist over in right. Evan Longoria, what a year defensively he's having at third base. Reed Brignac will get a start tonight at short. With Jason Bartlett, the DH, Akinori Uemura, Willie Ibar, Deanna Navarro complete your infield for the Rays. Today's defensive alignment review brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket, where saving you money is our passion.
Joe Madden, the Rays skipper. Well, the Rays would, of course, like to finish over 500. They'd like to finish more than just over 500. They need 5 wins in their remaining 11 games to do that. Here's Ichiro Suzuki leading off, and the first pitch is a ball. Wade Davis on the mound. Our game underway at 7:09. The pop-up, that's fouled back and going to be out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ichiro hit the 2-run home run last night, his 11th home run of the year. Jumped on a fastball and hit it deep into the seats and right. Foul ball the other way, out of play this time. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fly ball to center. Upton coming in and makes the catch in short right or short center field for the first out. 1 up and 1 down. Proud to bring you this game tonight in high definition from Tropicana Field. There's Franklin Gutierrez. Gutierrez at 280 and 16 home runs, 61 runs batted in. There's the strike. Good discussed last night what he means to this club. Those offensive numbers, career highs for him. He's put together over 500 at bats for the first time in his big league career. Fly ball the other way into right. Zobrist backs up. 2 gone. The other part of his game, he leads all American League outfielders in putouts. He's been busy in center field, and that has made a big difference. It's really helped the Seattle pitching staff be even better than it is ordinarily. And they have the best team ERA in the American League, and good defense has helped that. Now here's Lopez. It's inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Jose Lopez with a career high 25 home runs. Lines it into left. There's a base hit off a fastball. Lopez aboard with a 2-out single.
Steady diet of fastball so far in the first inning from Wade Davis, and Lopez was able to pick on one and drill it into left field. He's been going almost all fastballs, maybe one other pitch other than a fastball. That was just up in the zone, got a little away from Wade Davis.
So Davis working from the stretch here against Ken Griffey Jr. 39 years old. The question is, will he or will he not be back next year? He's had a positive influence on this Seattle club. Pitch outside. 1-0. Griffey and Mike Sweeney in the mix in their clubhouse, and that has really helped Don Wakamatsu, their manager, make a vast improvement in the span of 1 season. But at first, Lopez is back in.
Oh, it was interesting to watch the dynamic when Ken Griffey Jr. is around the cage in batting practice. So many guys on the other team end up gravitating towards him. He knows a lot of the guys, but even the young guys too. He's a great ambassador for the game.
There's a strike. 1-1. Well, he started his career in a Seattle uniform and likely to end it that way. But no announcement from Griffey until the season is over as to what his future may be in terms of playing. Two balls and a strike. Well, there's where he stands on the all-time home run list. 5th. Bonds, Aaron, Ruth, and Mays, and then comes Ken Griffey Jr. A lead and a toss to first. Lopez back in at first. He has not been a big threat to steal. He's just 3 of 6 in that department. Griffey hitting against the shift with Iwamura stationed in shallow right field. That takes the count to 2-2.
Take a look at that pitch from Wade Davis. Good part of the play in outer half. No, Wade's not a guy who's going to show a lot of emotion. I'm sure this is special for him growing up, watching Ken Griffey Jr. his whole life, getting the pitch against him.
And a wave and a miss. He strikes him out. That's a fastball with a little action to finish it. And he strikes him out, leaving a runner at first. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Jason Bartlett, who's the DH for the Rays tonight, will lead it off. We have no score from Tropicana Field. Has his club in at 79 and 72 after losing 101 games last year. It's been a quick turnaround. Jason Bartlett in the DH spot leads it off for the Rays tonight, followed by Carl Crawford and Evan Longoria. Zobrist, Ibar, Ibamora, then Upton, Navarro, and Brignac rounding out Joe Maddon's lineup.
Brandon Morrow is making his A start of the year. Started the year in the bullpen for Seattle. He's been in the bullpen prior to that as well.
His first pitch tonight, and it's a strike call.
See what Morrow has done in 16 relief appearances and 8 starts, 5.08 ERA. That walk total is high, 39 and 56 and 2/3.
That's a strike, 0-2. One of the things that has prevented him in the past from starting has been a diabetic condition he has had to contend with, and fatigue as a result of that. Breaking ball there, missed, and it's 1-2. But he has a very good arm, and they really like the slider he could show you. The ground ball off a fastball. Lopez at second makes the play.
Taking a look at the Mariners defense tonight in the outfield. Michael Saunders in left. Franklin Gutierrez can go get him in center. And Ichiro Suzuki, an 8-time Gold Glover, in right. Strong left side of the infield. Adrian Beltre at third. Josh Wilson at short. Jose Lopez at second. Jack Hanahan at first. Kenji Jojima for the second straight game behind the plate. And Brandon Morrow on the mound. Today's defensive alignment review brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket, where saving you money is our passion.
Well, here's Carl Crawford. Pitch is down to Carl. Goes in tonight, 9th in the American League in hitting, back in the top 10 with his average at 307. 7th in overall hits. Too high. 2-0, and the Toyota trend, a pretty healthy trend through 49 career games against the Mariners. Carl's hitting .353, 28 runs and 11 steals. He's ahead in the count, 3-0. Takes a strike. Fastball, 3-1.
He's got real easy velocity. That one in at 94, but he can bring it. Morrow can up into the high 90s.
And strike 2 called, so it's full now. Damian Beal out of Louisiana, 36-year-old umpire, calls the balls and strikes tonight. We saw him finish the series against the Blue Jays. Stick around for this one. Crawford will see another 3-2 pitch, fouling that one away.
Carl doesn't say a whole lot about umpiring. He did get a little upset the other night about being called out at third. That was the end of the Toronto series, but it was Beal who made that call. Not sure Carl's aware of that.
There's a chopper to the right side. Lopez with the throw, and Crawford is out, so a couple of ground balls. Yeah, we're not sure if Crawford's aware of that. Let's hope that Beal is not aware of that, too.
Yeah, CC just got a little frustrated there. He thought he had a 60th base that night. He feels like about half the time he's been called out this year, he's been safe, and there have been occasions where a replay showed him to be correct.
2 up and 2 down. Now Evan Longoria. Evans 6th in the league in home runs. He's 3rd in the league in runs batted in, with the 10th best slugging percentage in the American League. First pitch, a slider to a miss, down and away. That slider, 89. That could be anywhere 88 to 90 with his slider. There's a line drive to right, and Ichiro is there to make the catch to retire the side. We're headed into the second inning, no score.
A large part of that is how you think, and so I'm sure he's going to come out and be the same cat next time, and I don't think he understands the idea of going out there one pitch at a time, one inning at a time. So I think you're going to see another really good performance, and I think he understands how to go about his business.
Adrian Beltre takes the first pitch. It's fastball, a little up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Mariners third baseman. There's a strike that picks up the corner. 1-1. Some interesting comments by Joe Madden on Wade Davis. He got a pretty good idea. That's a nice pitch, that slider after a couple of fastballs, 1-2. But Madden already has a pretty good feel for the makeup of Wade Davis already.
That pitch is going to do him well if he's consistent with that slider.
2-2.
Joe Madden really likes his look. He likes the way he peers over his glove. He's kind of got the hat tilted down, so all you see are those eyes. And he says his eyes are very intimidating for a rookie. He's very focused.
This one is low and outside. 3-2. Well, you got a very good look at that look following that shutout with that post-game interview you did, and he was as low-key and as intense, I think, in that interview as he was on the mound. Beltre stays alive, fouling it off, and I was reading something the other day about his high school coach who has watched him. He was the same way then.
Yeah, he's amazing. He is unflappable as a rookie. The shutout didn't raise his pulse, and the 2 shavy cream pies didn't raise his pulse either.
And he strikes out Beltre with a fastball. Second strikeout of the night for Wade Davis.
A lot of fastballs. He threw that one slider to Beltre, and this had a little bit of cut action to it on the outside part of the plate. Beltre couldn't catch up.
So 1 away. Jojima is going to be the hitter, and let's check in with Whit.
Well, once again, Web Wednesday, ask.therays@fox.com. Here's the first one, guys. Marcus would like to know, who originated the shift? What team originated the infield shift, the one you see now against hitters like Carlos Pena and like Big Papi in Boston?
There's a strike to Kenji Jojima. This one is high, 1-1. Well, there may or may not have been some experimentation with variations of that shift, but the guy who really made it famous was Lou Boudreau, who I happen to be blessed to have as my broadcast partner on radio years ago with the Cubs. And Lou, and I don't know that I've ever seen an analyst who anticipated the game better than Lou. For the extent of the time I was with him, I was consistently amazed. But he devised that shift when he was the player manager of the Cleveland Indians back in the 40s, specifically for Ted Williams. And Williams, like a lot of hitters today, just would not go the other way. He was challenged by that shift and consistently tried to hit through it or over it. Brignac out from shortstop. So my vote would be for Lou Boudreau as the player manager of the Cleveland Indians, who designed that and implemented it to try to stop maybe the game's greatest hitter of all time, Ted Williams.
I'll go with that. I used to love listening to Lou on the WGN games too back in the day. He was very entertaining. But yeah, I think that's probably accurate. I think Joe may have been the inventor of the 4 outfielders, though. I don't know if I saw that before. Madden put on that 3-4 shift against Papi and then Ryan Howard, but that didn't last a whole long time. Although he said he might go back to it again someday if the spray charts show that would work out.
Jack Hanahan takes ball 2 outside, 2-0. Well, I'm not surprised by anything that Joe Madden comes up with, and there's always a pretty good argument behind it to justify what he's doing. He's not doing that just to be flamboyant. There's a reasoned approach when you see something unusual out there, and maybe completely innovative or some variation of that. There's a good argument behind what he does. 2 outs, base is empty. 2-1 is popped to the left side, down the left field line. Crawford toward the bullpen is there and makes the catch, retiring the side. It's a 1-2-3 second inning as Crawford tracks it down. Bottom of inning 2 coming. Rays and the Mariners, no score. So we're looking forward to Carlos joining us here in our booth.
Absolutely. And people can email their questions for Carlos Pena in addition to us.
So we invite those inquiries when Carlos is here. Here's Ben Zobrist. And a base hit on a first pitch fastball. Zobrist ready for it. And he's aboard to start the Rays second.
Zobrist had just the handle in his hand. The entire barrel ended up behind him. In fact, he looked back after he placed that ball in the right field to see where the barrel ended up. But watch this. I mean, the bat's completely gone. He just has the handle in his right hand. Ben, ever so conscientious, looks back to make sure everybody's okay. He's like, all right, we're fine. But nice little base hit on the broken bat.
Willie Ibar. Pitch is a strike. Zobrist got a nice little secondary lead on that first pitch delivered by Brandon Morrow. See what the Rays do with that. Down and in. Nice pickup by Jojima, who came up with an eye toward first.
I think that's interesting because Morrow did pay him more attention that second time. I think he failed to pay him any attention on the first delivery. Maybe with a runner on now, Morrow has had trouble at times with his command. We'll see how he does in this inning.
And a move to first and back in. Willie with 11 home runs on the year. Holding the ball this time out of the stretch, and the pitch is a ball. 2-1. So varying his cadence out there, one way to try to disrupt a potential running game. And back in at first base.
And that little walking start he had on the first pitch has changed the way Morrow has attacked Willie Ibar. He's paying a lot more attention to him now. And sometimes changing the cadence can affect the base running, but it can also affect your control.
And again, a move to first. Well, it certainly divides the attention, and you have to think that it can only help the hitter. one is fouled the other way. A fastball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Not a lot of at bats in this Rays lineup against Brandon Morrow. Navarro has a couple. He's 1 out of 2, and Upton came in 0 for 2 against him. That's really about it. Other hitters with 1 at bat. There's a base hit just inside the left field line. Zobrist will go to third. Ibar headed for second with a stand-up double. And the Rays have something cooking here in the second inning. And I think there was something to Zobrist creating a bit of a distraction over there at first base for Morrow.
Checkers double the game. It's a hanger, a little breaking ball. Willie just slices it down the left field line the other way. Ibar is picking it up here the last couple of games in this homestand. Our Checkers double the game by Willie Ibar.
Well, Akinori Iwamura has a chance to put the Rays out in front early tonight. 2 men in scoring position with nobody out. And he takes that first pitch for a strike. The Mariners with the infield back, they'll give up a run for an out. And it's high, snap throw down to third, and back in is Zobrist. 1-1. There was a stretch when Jojima really struggled behind the plate, but he's really worked on his release and his footwork. He's thrown out over 50% of the runners trying to steal with him behind the plate. And as we've seen here, he's not afraid to keep an eye on the base runners. Inside. 2-1.
Good spot here for Aki. A lot of times he thinks about opposite field with the fly ball, but with runners on second and third, nobody out, you can make a real productive out by thinking pull here. Ground ball to the right side, can score a run and put Ibar at third.
And a wave and a miss. Good fastball there in the mid to upper 90s.
Aki was geared up 2-1. He got a pitch to hit, but a little extra heat on that one.
Trying to catch up to that. One of the guns had that at 97. Two. Takes ball 3. So full count to the Rays second baseman. He lifts a popper back at third. Beltre's after it. So is Wilson. Foul ball for Beltre, who makes the catch. So that's the first out. The runners hold at second and third. For all the latest updates on the Tampa Bay Rays, log on to TampaBay.com. From the diamond to the clubhouse and everywhere in between. We'll bring you in-depth news, stories, and scores 24 hours a day only at TampaBay.com. Now it's B.J. Upton. Well, B.J. had a couple of hits and a run batted in last night. And that's been a rare occurrence. A multi-hit game for B.J. It's the first time that's happened in almost 2 months since the end of July. He takes a pitch inside. Fastball, 1 ball, no strikes.
We know this guy can throw hard, and this one was up and in, right around the letters for B.J. Upton.
Away. 2-0.
Where B.J. Upton can really zone right here. He's got the count in his favor. He can make that strike zone even smaller.
And he takes ball 3. A good take right there. Three and nothing. A lot of arm here from Brandon Morrow. Command the issue. And he walks Upton, pitch high. And the bases will be loaded with one out for Deoner Navarro. Don't forget, you can place your reservation for 2010 Rays season tickets and ensure the best seats, biggest savings, and all the great benefits of Rays baseball. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Now Deoner Navarro. Big 222 for the year. And there's ball one. And here's a situation where you'd really love to see Navarro zone Morrow.
Absolutely. And Deoner has had one of those seasons where he's been so much better as a right-handed hitter than a left-handed hitter. But he does have one hit against Morrow. And you would hope that he would narrow that strike zone. He knows this guy's missed on 5 straight pitches. He's getting a visit at the mound right now. He's got to narrow that zone down and not do this guy any favors until he can find the zone again. And it looks like Navi's decided not to go with a pine tar rag anymore. He's just going to use the top of his helmet. That's not a pretty helmet right now.
He takes ball 2. So a good start to this at bat, because so often we've seen Navi somewhat anxious at the plate, and this time he is well in front. 2 good takes, 2-0. Bases loaded. On away. Navi makes him throw a strike. That's in there. 2-1. In the bottom of the second, the Rays have loaded the bases. And Navarro lets the fly ball short left. Saunders will get into throwing position, making the catch, and it's going to be too shallow for any opportunity to score. And that'll be the second out. So a fly ball into shallow left, and no chance for Zobrist to head to the plate.
Navarro was ahead of the count 2-0. Then Morrow got that strike over to make it 2-1. Then he just got a little bit inside on the hands of Navi. Did not allow him to drive the ball out to left field or to the outfield as far as he would like. And Tom Foley couldn't take a chance there.
So it'll be up to the rookie shortstop, Reed Brignac here. Reed comes into tonight hitting .278. The homer and 5 runs batted in. And he takes a good cut at a fastball to open the at bat, fouling it back, strike 1. Morrow's delivery. And a healthy fastball there, taken for strike 2. 0-2. So with the bases loaded, 2 gone now. Morrow has come back to get the jump on Brignac. Zobrist third, Ibar at second, and Upton over at first. Brignac steps out as Morrow takes a little bit too much time, and Jojima heads to the hill. Brignac with a big night. But he got that start at shortstop in Baltimore on that last road trip on the 14th. He went 4 for 4 and picked up his first big league home run. He actually had a chance to hit for the cycle. He needed the most difficult part of that. He needed a triple. Two strikes the count to him. fouls it back. Fastball. Well, Morrow can get it up there in a hurry. Again, mid to upper 90s on his fastball. In fact, that slider, we've seen it at 89 to 90, which is, that slider is about the average major league fastball. The 0-2 into the dirt, blocked by Jojima.
That was a nice block. That ball landed in front of the plate with some heat on it. Jojima, you're never sure where this is going to. I mean, that was about 58 feet. Just bounced right into the middle of his chest protector. Look at where that bounced. Well in front, almost out of our frame of view there with the overhead shot.
Now the 1-2 and a swing and a miss. Slider in on him, and that retires the side. The Rays leave him loaded. We're through 2, no score, and when we go to the third, we'll be joined by Carlos Pena. Out of the third, Wade Davis on the hill facing Josh Wilson. And the first pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Happy to have Carlos Pena join us. Carlos, great to see you.
Well, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
We'd prefer to see you in a uniform, but it's great to see you nevertheless.
You know what? I miss it. I miss it greatly. I wish I could be out there playing. It's killing me just to be watching the game from here. But you guys make it a lot more pleasant, let me tell you.
1-2, here's Wilson. So give us a little update on the progress of the injury to begin with, and then we'll dispense with that.
Everything's going very well. I think I should be fine by the end of October. I know that baseball is well over. We're well into the off season, but just to know that I'm going to be fine very quickly, just I'm excited about that.
2-2, and you had to know when that happened. I know you tried to stay in the game, and the following pitch sort of underscored to you that there was something serious going on.
I know exactly. As soon as the ball hit me, I knew my hand was broken. Of course, I wanted to just keep on hitting, even though I knew that it was very serious.
Base hit to center for Josh Wilson to open the third. Second hit given up by Davis. Did you think, we thought from here leading up to that, a couple of weeks, that you were probably ironically swinging the bat as well as you had swung it all year?
You know what? I felt that way. I was working very hard, and I think that's what that's why it hurt so much. I mean, not so much the injury, just the fact that I couldn't finish up the season. It ended a lot quicker than I was ready for, and I was heartbroken. I truly was.
Saunders, Michael Saunders. Left-handed hitter over to first, and Wilson is back in there.
Since the Rays have been home, you've had a chance to be around the team a little bit as you look at your numbers this year, 39 and exactly 100 RBIs. But is it a little different being in that dugout? We saw you earlier just walking around and conversing.
You know what? Everything looks a lot slower, let me tell you. And, you know, of course, I've been in the dugout before, but your mind is turned on. I'm in the game. I'm trying to watch the pitcher, trying to see what he's doing. At this time, I'm just kind of just laying around like a fan, you know, and trying to just enjoy the game as a fan. And it definitely looks a lot slower, a lot easier. So I can understand why, not here, but some places we go to, fans get all over us because we may not get any hits or something like that. It looks a lot easier than it really is.
Want to know the count on Saunders? Wilson at first base. Yeah, I think that's especially true from our perspective. You know, the game from here, and we talk about this all the time. There's sometimes we'll reference a ground ball as a routine ground ball. There really isn't anything in the grand scheme of things in the human experience. There really isn't such a thing as a routine ground ball at the major league level.
It's just there's nothing predictable in baseball. You know, you really can't predict the hop. You can't predict what's going to happen in any particular play. So that's the beauty of it, anyways.
Yeah. And I just think the ball is hit harder than people recognize, unless you're on the receiving end of that, trying to make what we reference as a routine play.
I mean, I see Davis throw some pitches here, and I'm saying, well, that's 95. That looks a lot slower than that. It is not.
Runner on the move, a wave and a miss, and Navi's throw, gonna get it. He's out at second base. Brignac in to take the throw, and Wilson is cut down on the running attempt. So that takes care of that leadoff single.
Nice pick by Reed Brignac, something Carlos Pena is good at, scooping those throws in the dirt. One hopper, Brignac's able to get the glove down after the pick. Nice play by the young shortstop.
You know what? He's got a lot of talent, and I mean, the sky's the limit for him. Good kid too, so we love to have him around.
2-1 the count here. I know it's disappointing for you to have to finish the season early, and that's one element that could have affected where the Rays have wound up. Base hit goes out of the reach of Iwamura. Saunders is aboard, but that aside, let's talk about this club for a moment, because last year was such a magical season where I really believe that on any given night anything was possible with this club a year ago, and for some reason, and maybe it's just the nature of the game, that didn't always seem to be the case this year.
You know, that's a very difficult thing to talk about, because it's hard to put a finger on some things. Sometimes you just can't define why things happen in baseball. This is something that we're going through. I think it's actually necessary. It's just part of the process. It's a natural progression.
Ichiro with a base hit into right. That advances Saunders to second, and so Ichiro has his first hit of the night. First and second now with one out.
You know, and I think that eventually this will help us. At the end of it all, it's going to help our growth. You know, we did it without anything. We were in last place the year before. All of a sudden, we're a World Series team. It was a little bit different this year. You know, we had a lot of expectations, and believe it or not, we have to learn how to play with expectations. And I think the pressure that we put on ourselves is something that we need to learn how to control. So I think we're learning. This is a growing process, and we're going to use this to our advantage.
Franklin Gutierrez, he lifted a fly ball into right his first time. Pitch up a little bit. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, the encouraging thing is, as I look at this club, last year's club, a very talented team, and I think there were those who argued that coming out of spring training, that this year's club, from an assessment point of view of talent, some people thought it was even more talented than last year. Whether that's the case or not, I think the core here of talent is such that moving forward, there's every reason to expect that this team should be good again next year and beyond that.
I believe so. I believe in this team. We are extremely talented. I mean, just look at our pitching staff. It's amazing how promising this pitching staff is going to be. I mean, I know that good things are coming for this organization, and I'm just glad I'm part of it. I'm really excited about the future.
1-1 the count to Gutierrez. Breaking pitch top to third. Longoria will take it to first. Ibar on the receiving end there as Saunders goes to third. Ichiro moves into second base. Gutierrez the second out. 2 men out with 2 men in scoring position, and another big bat to get in Jose Lopez.
Carlos, we know how hard you work defensively at your game, and we've seen Willie Ibar make that transition over the last couple of years where he's playing a little more first base. Have you talked with him a lot about playing that position? Because I know early on there was a couple plays that he had to get used to play in the hole where he had to, let the second baseman take it. Do you guys talk a lot about that?
We do, because I think first base is sometimes overlooked in the fact that they think that anyone can actually play first base.
This ball gets by Navarro, and down the line from third comes Saunders. So Seattle will take a 1-0 lead. As Saunders scores, Ichiro goes to third. And so it's a 1-0 game.
You can hear Navi's frustration. This is a pitch that he usually smothers. It may be a wild pitch, but it was a ball he usually handles, and it cost the Rays a run.
Navi set up on the inside, and Davis jerked that pitch a little bit. It's going to be a pass ball. Now a little foul ball third base side. The count is 1-1, and so on that, the first run of the game has scored. The count on the hitter, Jose Lopez, stands at 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. What do you think of Davis? You've had a chance to see him now.
I like him a lot. I like him a lot. He's extremely respectful, very professional young man, and obviously incredibly talented. He's very comfortable in that mound right now, so I love that.
There's a foul ball out of play. There are often times when you were out there and you've got a young pitcher, maybe a little bit of a spot, gets behind a guy, and here comes Carlos Pena from first. What do you tell him?
A lot of people ask me that. What are you talking about? What do you tell these guys? And a lot of times it's just giving them confidence and just to know that they're the king of the hill. They're up there, and they should take charge and own their space, And Davis certainly does that. And I love that about him.
Just like that, he gets Lopez on a good slider. Strikes him out. A run scores on the pass ball. Carlos will stick around, be with us in the bottom of the inning. Seventh of September. Carlos with 100 runs batted in. He's still in the top 10 in that department. It's the home run derby in the American League right now. Carlos 2 up on Mark Teixeira. Carlos in the booth with us here as we go to the bottom of the third. Jason Bartlett leads it off with the Rays down by a run, 1-0, and that's a strike. Carlos, I know you wanted to finish up the question about Ibar over at first.
Yes, it's very difficult to play first base. Actually, it takes what Willie has done. Really, it takes a good athlete. So it says a lot about him, about his ability, about his mobility. At first base. I mean, I've been impressed. It's not that easy, and he's made the transition look easy, and it's certainly not. So I'm very happy to see that.
2 strikes the count to Jason Bartlett. Morrow misses upstairs. 1-2. We saw some of your highlights. Miles, this is, again, as Todd mentioned, one of those nights when the fans get to ask us questions. Miles wanted to know what was your favorite moment for you individually of this year.
Wow. That's difficult. I was really enjoying myself the last month, and that's why I said I was so disappointed at the end of it. I wanted to really finish strong. So let me think about it at least for 3 more minutes, and I'll give you an answer.
You had to have fun in the individually in the home run derby. That must have been a blast, huh?
That was a lot of fun. I mean, I couldn't stop laughing. I don't know what it was. I got a laugh attack when I was up at the plate.
Here's Carl Crawford sending a high fly ball back to deep left with some carry, and Saunders will have room on the track a couple steps from the wall. 2 gone.
Carl tried to do what you did in the home run derby, go opposite way. Terry wants to know, Carlos, during the course of the season, were you closer to the plate?
That's true. Actually, I definitely. Sometimes it's tough to get comfortable. And getting too close to the plate. You're going to be challenged inside a lot more often. But I did get closer to the plate, so that's a good observation. And it wasn't easy, but I knew that I had to do something to pretty much take control of the plate as much as possible.
2 outs, base is empty. Evan Longoria in the batter's box for the Rays. The pitch is a strike, and from Orlando, Shelley wanted to know about the language situation here. You're in a position where you can help some of the Latin players make that adjustment.
You know what? It's really cool to be able to relate to all my teammates with ease. And I've been fortunate. I was fortunate enough to come down to the United States when I was very young, so I learned English rather quickly, and it's been so useful for me. And it's great. It works great to get along well with all my teammates, regardless of where they're from.
I think I'm right about this. When you came to the United States, they wanted you in English as a second language class. Is that true? And you said no?
Yes, I just figured I would learn quicker if I just went all English. It was a lot tougher, but it did work.
Here's Zobrist fouling one back with Longoria at first and 2 outs. Well, somehow I'm not surprised by that.
I'm taking advanced placement history and reading 20 pages without understanding a word. It sure worked. It really helped me to get acquainted, and I had to learn English quickly if I wanted to survive.
One strike. The pitch from the Seattle right-hander, and a shot into right. Ichiro's in line with it to make the catch. Carlos, you've done more than survive. You have prospered. We certainly appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure.
All right, Carlos Pena with us. We're through 3, and it's 1-0 Seattle. Griffey Jr. leads off for Seattle. And the first pitch is a strike ball, a curveball, in around the knees. We haven't seen a lot of the curveball. We've seen some sliders tonight. Cut the miss and a fastball, nothing in two. Davis has both of those breaking pitches, the slider and the curveball. Griffey, Beltre, and Jojima due up. Foul back, going to be out of play. Well, it's good to see Carlos Pena. I tell you, he is genuinely a positive force, not only on this club, but to all the people who know him. It's hard to find anyone who's more genuine than he is. Two strikes.
Yeah, you're always in a better mood after you talk with Carlos or interact with Carlos, because he is. He's eternally upbeat. He's always looking at things positively, and he's just a great influence on all his teammates.
And still a ball and 2 strikes as Griffey Jr. fouls it back. So we're in the 4th. The only run came in the 3rd, scored on a pass ball with Lopez at the plate. Nicholas Saunders scored the run. And still a ball, 2 strikes. And Souvenir. Caught looking at the fastball. First out here in the 4th. Let's take a look at our Aflac trivia question. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Since 1954, how many players have pitched a complete game shutout with at least 10 strikeouts for their first big league win? Well, you're looking at one of them right there. How many pitchers overall have done that? He pitched to Beltre. Is in there for a strike. Curveball, strike 1. Well, I know some of them, and there's some good names on that list. And Wade Davis has joined them with what he did in Baltimore last Thursday. Fastball by Beltre. It's 1-2.
I think as we move along, that list is not going to grow very rapidly with everybody concerned with pitch counts and young arms.
Fly ball into right, sends Zobrist back, but he's going to have room. Step or 2 onto the track. 2 outs.
Joe Madden was willing to go deep with Wade Davis in that start just because he thought it would be a growth moment, and it paid off for him. But you're not going to see a lot of guys get to throw into the 120s in his first, second, or third start like Wade Davis did.
Here's the catcher, Kenji Jojima. It's a strike. And a strike on the corner. 2 well-placed pitches here.
Outside corner.
That's all you need. Down. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That curveball starting to become a weapon for Wade in this game. You said we hadn't seen it much before this inning. He started out Ken Griffey Jr. with a curveball, Adrian Beltre with a curveball. Both dropped in for strikes, and he tried to finish off Jojima with a breaking ball as well.
That outside corner with a fastball and just missed.
Wade started to think that was the final pitch of the inning, but it is a little bit low, maybe outside.
Swing and a miss. Jojima out on strike. strikes. He missed a good slider. A couple of strikeouts in the inning, and we go to the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Seattle. Complete game shutout with at least 10 strikeouts for their first big league win. The answer is 10, including Wade Davis. You go down that list: Louis Tiant, Juan Marichal, Sandy Koufax, and a couple of very interesting stories. And Carl Spooner, who had 15 strikeouts there. Pitch to Willie Ibar. Down, 1 ball, no strikes. And Tim Fortuno is another interesting story for a couple of reasons. A high popper off the bat of Ibar. Lopez, the second baseman out there. Fortuno he had a long career, but most of it was in the minor leagues, and he was 30 years old when he did that in '92. That was in his second big league start. He got his first big league win against the Tigers. He threw a 3-hit shutout against them. Spent a little time over the next couple of years primarily in the bullpen. Lopez takes care of this one for Maki. 2 gone, 2 up, and 2 down with the bases empty. Next time you're at Tropicana Field and you need a new cap, well, stop by the New Era Cap Corner, located in the third base food court. Choose from raised caps, novelties, accessories, and more. The New Era Cap Corner, the official cap of Major League Baseball. Fortuno spent some time in the bullpen with the Reds and the White Sox, but he's really famous for giving up George Brett's 3,000th hit and then promptly picking him off first base. 1 strike to count to B.J. Upton.
George Brett is one of those guys every year at Cooperstown that is always the last one to go back to the room. He tells some great stories, including how the glory didn't last long after that 3,000th hit.
Pitches down. I think it was like maybe 2 pitches, and then he was picked off first. One ball, 2 strikes. And Carlos Spooner he did it with the Brooklyn Dodgers. He came up in '54 and threw a couple quick shutouts, and everybody thought he was just going to be the greatest pitcher of all time. And his big league career was over. He started Game 6 of the '55 World Series, and that was it. Swing and a miss. Upton is out on strikes. We go to the fifth. 1-0 Seattle. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Florida, brought to you by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. By Gulf Coast Honda. Visit GulfCoastHondaDealers.com to find great deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. And by Tires Plus. Thinking tires, think Tires Plus. Hanahan leads off here in the fifth inning. First pitch from the Rays righty is a strike call. 5 strikeouts for Wade Davis tonight through 4 innings. Bounces this one in, and the count is 1-1. Couple of hops in front of Crawford, and a leadoff single for Hanahan. Let's check in again with Whit Watson.
Well, guys, Mike in Naples emailed and said that he was at the Kingdome 20 years ago when Ken Griffey Jr. hit his first career home run, and he thought at the time this kid 20 years from now could be the greatest player that ever lived. Tough question, great discussion topic. Mike wants to know, had Griffey remained healthy over these 20 years, do you think he could have assumed that title of the greatest player that ever lived?
Well, that was his first home run against the Chicago White Sox. Hanahan back in at first. Well, he is among the greatest players who've ever played. He's 39 years old now, and injuries certainly the last few years have been a major factor, and staying healthy and longevity is a big part of that. And you know, that's one of the things that made Hank Aaron so great, his ability to stay healthy. So there's no question that's a factor. It's a strike to Josh Wilson.
Certainly one of the great elements of his game was that speed. He could roam the outfield, he could steal bases, and those knee injuries later in his career took at least that element out of his game. But you're right that he already is one of the greats, but he could have easily been considered amongst the top 3 or 4 players if he stayed healthy for his entire career.
This one is fouled out of play. 0-2. Well, I mean, his awards, you could go through his bio, and when you look at what he's accomplished, but you know, when a guy, he won the MVP award, it was a unanimous MVP award for him in 1997, and there've really been very few players to ever do that, to decisively be the MVP the way he was. I think fewer than 15 have done that in the history of the game, in the history of that award. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Wilson.
helped build the Safeco Field with that great run with the Mariners teams, the Kingdome.
Well, that's such a great facility and such a big part of Seattle, and without him, it probably would not have happened. Strike three, call to Wilson. Out on strikes for the first out here in the fifth. Strikeout number 6 on the night for Wade Davis.
Wade Davis has given up 5 hits to this point, but that's a big pitch right there. He's got a guy on first, and he's got 2 strikes, and this is just absolutely perfectly placed. Half the ball is on the plate, half the ball is off the plate. That is a called strike.
Michael Saunders, 1 on, 1 out. Saunders has scored the game's only run. A breaking ball for a strike.
That's a good pitch right there. It's a young hitter. He's not going to turn on that inside fastball. I mean, this is nearly impossible. Watch Saunders' reaction to this pitch. He's like, I can't turn on that. There's nothing I can do about it.
Liner the other way into left center field. Crawford cuts it off. Hanahan started to go to third, and the throw, and he puts on the brakes and heads back into second. Hanahan showing signs of trying to go to third when Crawford came up with that one. Now 2 men on and 1 out.
Too much of the plate on an 0-2 pitch here. I mean, he's middle. You've got to make this guy leave the zone there, 0-2. Wade knows he made a mistake there. Jack Hanahan almost made a mistake of his own as he almost circled too far around second. You'll see him read this, and then he thinks about challenging Carl, and then in the last second holds up.
Trouble here with Ichiro stepping in. Singled in the third. Pitch off the plate in. A ball and no strikes.
He tried inside, just missed that side of the plate. Tried outside, just missed away a little bit to Ichiro. Big spot here for Wade. It's a very tough hitter down the count.
Ichiro came into the game hitting .354, .355 right now, 1 for 2. Fouls the 2-0 pitch out of play, and it's 2-1.
Guy is just a hitting machine. Ichiro Suzuki. He's gone 176 games without going back-to-back games without a hit. Just always figures out a way to dial up at least 1 base hit a night, it seems.
Two-one pitch, and it's fouled out of play. 2-2. Well, here's the concern. Hanahan came into the game hitting .214. Saunders came in hitting .216, and they're the 7 and 9 hitters in the lineup. They're on base now, and now you have to face Ichiro, who's hitting .355 and .330, top 10 with men in scoring position. Soft base hit into center, charged by Upton. Hanahan's going to try to score. Throw will come through, and it's just not in time. Swipe tag by Navarro, and Hanahan got in there to make it a 2-0
Great throw and a great deke by Navarro. This is a strike by Upton. Navarro waits to the last second, pretends the throw's not coming, and the last second he picks it off and then pulls a little swipe tag, but I think it's a good call. Hanahan able to just get that foot in. It was close. Yonder Navarro did everything he could, and B.J. Upton threw a strike to home plate.
Yeah, you can see Navarro tried to situate himself to try to move Hanahan off the plate, but Hanahan got the plate. So that's the problem when those 7 and 8 and 9 hitters get on base, with people like Ichiro and Gutierrez and Lopez following, when that lineup turns over.
Well, there is one pitch in particular. Hanahan with the base hit earlier in the count, but that 0-2 pitch to Michael Saunders, that's one that Wade's really going to be frustrated about at the end of this night, because he had him 0-2 and he threw one right down the middle. Saunders was able to have a base hit into left field.
Runner takes off. The throw will be back to second. Safe, the call. Aki took the peg and put the tag on Ichiro. Saunders just had a giant break off second base.
Breaking ball, good pitch to run on, and this is a good throw by Navarro. Ooh, did he not have him? I think he's out. He has to make, I mean, he looks like the tag is on the helmet well before he gets to the bag. Tag right there. He's out. He tagged him on the helmet or the face. Either way, he did not get the hand in before the tag.
So a double steal, 1-0 the count to Gutierrez. And a chopper down the left side. Longoria is going to have to take it to first. The run will score. So Saunders crosses the plate. Ichiro goes to third.
Well, that's frustrating. The Rays could have their third out now if they got that called second. Instead, it is too high of a chopper, even with the infield in. A little acrobatic play by both Longoria and Bartlett, or Longoria and Zobrist over there, but it was Longoria who had to make the play to first. Too high of a chopper, yet to play at home.
So now Lopez. And a fastball, he had a rip and fouled it back. Strike one. Well, the first run scored on the pass ball. And then, as you pointed out, that 0-2 pitch to Saunders really has set up this inning. And then the missed call on Suzuki's steal of second. All of that coming together, and the Rays find themselves down by 3. Pop foul back, that's going to be out of play. And the count is 0-2.
And one of those innings for Wade that's, he pitched around some trouble in the third inning. He allowed 3 straight hits and only allowed the 1 unearned run on the pass ball. This inning, another 3-hit inning for the Mariners, but he could have pitched around a little bit. They called Suzuki out at second base.
And a pop-up this time on the infield. Longoria toward the mound, makes the catch to retire the side, but the Mariners score a couple. It's 3-0 Seattle. strikeouts along the way, but the Rays trailed 3-0. The first run came in the third on a pass ball with Lopez at the plate. That scored Saunders. 2 more in the 5th inning. A base hit by Ichiro. Scores Hanahan. And then the chop to third off the bat of Gutierrez got Saunders home. And that's a 3-0 game. Rays down as they come into bat in the bottom half of the 5th inning, with Deanna Navarro leading off, followed by Reed Brignac and then Jason Bartlett. First pitch fouled out of play, a fastball, strike one. Rays had the bases loaded with 1 out in the 2nd inning and left them that way. They left the bases loaded in the 2nd last night, settled for 1 run. Pitch is low, 1-1. Joe Madden talking before the game tonight about the loss last night, 4-3, and as difficult as it was to see Lopez decided with the home run, Madden was citing lack of offense again. This one is foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They just got to score more than 3 runs.
That's been a common theme since the injury to our broadcast mate Carlos Pena, who was up here in the 3rd inning. The Rays just haven't put it together offensively on any consistent level, and that makes those little small things look a lot larger when you give up an extra run in the inning like they did in the 5th.
Navarro sends a fly ball into right. Ichiro Suzuki makes the catch. That'll be out number 1. Come be a part of Rays Pandemonium Thursday, October 1st through Sunday the 4th. Scratch off cards benefiting the Rays Baseball Foundation and the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association Education Foundation. Available through donation. Prizes include Rays game-worn jerseys, great discounts around town, and even the Kia Forte. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets today. Brignac looks at a strike. Brignac struck out on a slider his first time. One of a couple strikeouts posted tonight by the Seattle right-hander. Foul ball runs the count to 0-2. Brandon Morrow pitching, making his 9th start. He came into this game with a 5.08 earned run average and a record of 1-4. Brignac went on the appeal, and Scott Berry says Brignac is out on strikes.
Let's see what Reed thought. Oh, close. I think he did go around, though. That's pretty close. Reed didn't agree, but Morrow's done a nice job staying around the plate tonight. He's working ahead of the counts. He ran into a little trouble there in the 2nd with his control, but other than that, he's been ahead of a lot of hitters.
Pitch high. A slider that stayed up and in. A ball and no strikes. You can see his arm drag just a little bit on that slider. Now, that one outside. Another slider, but too far away. 2-0. Fly ball right back into center field. Gutierrez is there. And it's 1-2-3 for the Rays. On to the 6th. 3-0 Seattle. Baseball on Fox Sports Florida, brought to you by Amscott. You're okay with us. By Autoway Toyota. If you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? Call Autoway Toyota at 1-800-NEW-TOYOTA. And by Men's Warehouse. You're going to love the way you look. We go to the 6th inning. Here's Todd Callis.
Dwayne, thanks so much. Rays trailing 3-0. Ken Griffey Jr. a big swing and a miss at a fastball to start the inning. Jr. has struck out swinging and struck out looking. 2 of the 6 strikeouts by Wade Davis tonight. Mariners scoring 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th. And the Rays are being shut out by Brandon Morrow. That's where we stand, 3-0 into the 6th inning. 1-1 pitch to Griffey Jr. inside for a ball. It's 2-1. Wade Davis threw 124 pitches in his last start in Baltimore in that gem of a complete game shutout. So tonight the Rays were going to limit him right around the century mark. Here's a ball ripped into right field, coming on quickly and making a diving effort. Ben Zobrist makes the play.
Well, let's take another look at this. Zobrist playing right field. As you know, he's played everywhere, and that's our Progress Energy energized defensive play, brought to you by Progress Energy. He's had a lot of energy all year.
No matter where you put him, second base, right field, center field, occasionally shortstop. Ben Zobrist has got the job done for the Rays in the field and certainly at the plate to the tune of his first All-Star game. Adrian Beltre, the batter, takes the pitch inside. It's 2-0. As part of the lineup, 4, 5, and 6, Wade Davis has been able to handle Griffey Jr., Adrian Beltre, Kenji Jojima. So far, a combined 0 for 8. It's been the bottom of the lineup, and then Ichiro at the top that has done the damage. Davis behind Beltre 3-0. There's a called strike. 7 hits allowed so far by the Lake Wales native. He has not walked a batter, and he struck out 6. There is walk number 1. So Beltre, a 1-out base runner. Time now to check in with Witt.
And once again, the Web Wednesday address, ask.therays@fox.com. Doug in Spring Hill is wondering about the language question. You talked to Carlos Pena in the booth about picking up English. And Doug is wondering, how is Aki doing picking up the language, or is he still using a translator these days?
Well, he's doing well, and he is using a translator. Mori Ichibori, who is the absolute best in the entire world when it comes to translators. He is with Aki and at his beck and call.
Yes, he is a well-beloved member of the traveling party. Is Tateki Bori Uchibori. Cultural assimilation liaison is what they call him, and he's done a great job. Not only does he translate for Aki, but he throws some bullpens for the Rays, and just an overall good guy. George Hendrick wouldn't want to admit this, but wanted Cuz's good friends. But Aki is really doing well with the language. Not to the point where we could interview him in English, but he talks pretty well with his teammates, and he's really, in 2 years, 3 years, learned a lot about the language here since joining the Rays. Kenji Jojima around the bunt, bunts it foul. And he really likes the area. He really wants to be a Ray next year, and he just is a fun guy to be around, and he's been a joy ever since he got here with the Rays 3 years ago. Oh, and 1 the count to Jojima, runner on first base and 1 out. Late swing, 0-2.
It's interesting. I did see Aki and Ichiro talking before the game around the batting cages at the batting practice today. It would have been interesting to see if they were discussing whatever they were discussing in English or Japanese.
Ball in the shallow right field. Aki going out. He calls off Ben Zobrist in English, I would imagine. 2 away. 2 outs and runner on first.
Interesting thing about that conversation they were having, word was in Japan that they weren't that close, but they had a great conversation going on.
Every Sunday is a family fun day presented by the St. Petersburg Times. Get a ticket, Pepsi product, and a snack starting at just $25. Come out Sunday, October 4th, when the Rays battle the New York Yankees. The first 10,000 kids 14 and under receive a Raymond wind-up walker. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets today. Nice hand from the crowd here for the local product, Wade Davis. And this call in the bullpen is brought to you by Metro PCS. Unlimit yourself. He last pitched 8 days ago when the Rays were in Baltimore. 49th game of the year for Lance. 2-3 record, 3.31 earned run average. He leads the team, and he's 8th in the American League in relief innings with 73 1/3. Ball hit hard past Akinori Uemura into center field, so Jack Hanahan has his second consecutive hit. Over to third goes Beltre. Throw gets away. Beltre's going to try and score. Cormier does not have a play, and it's now a 4-0 Seattle lead.
Now the frustration continues on that base hit to center. Beltre trying to go to third, and the throw from center deflects off Beltre and past Longoria. So it'll be an error charge to Upton on that throw. Upton thought he had a chance to get him there. So it's a 4-run deficit.
So Hanahan moves to second on the error. Beltre scores on the throw that got away. And here's Josh Wilson. Takes a pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. Wilson 1 for 2, singled and struck out. The Rays now trail 4-0 in the 6th inning. That run is charged to Wade Davis. As of right now, it's an unearned run. Depending on what happens the rest of the inning, it could become an earned run. This pitch into right field, coming on Zobrist. He gets there for the final out of the 6th inning. But a run on one hit, one man left on base. There was an error. We head to the bottom of the 6th, 4-0 Mariners. throw 10 strikeouts in a home game, log on to canestrikeout.com. Print a voucher that can be redeemed at Cane's for a free Papa John's pizza. Get to Cane's today. 6 of the strikeouts provided by Wade Davis. He's now out of the game as Brandon Morrow back out there for his 6th inning of work. Morrow deals with Carl Crawford to start the bottom half of the 6th inning. CC takes a pitch up high, ball 1.
You know, Morrow's in great shape. He's only made 65 pitches, 1 pitch into the 6th inning here.
And his longest outing of the season has been 6 innings. He's a guy that's been working high pitch counts, and he's worked out of the bullpen too, so they have not stretched him to 100 pitches at the big league level. He did throw 100 pitches once exactly at the minor league level. 2-0 pitch to Crawford way outside, and now Kenji Jojima with a word for his starting pitcher. One thing Morrow has done is command the plate a little bit since that 2nd inning, but now he starts off Crawford with 3 straight out of the zone.
Well, he's retired 7 in a row, and he used only 19 pitches to do that coming into this inning.
3-0 pitch up high, 4-pitch walk to Carl Crawford. Working on a shutout, that's the last thing you want to do, especially with a 4-run lead. Don Wakamatsu looking on, his team with a tremendous turnaround in 2009. Now Rick Adair is going to have a word for his starting pitcher. The Seattle pitching coach will trot out and talk to their 1st-round pick in the June draft of 2006. Garrett Olson. Start to loosen in the Seattle bullpen. Visit the official online shop of the Rays at RaysBaseball.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source.
Todd, you're talking about Don Wakamatsu. He is a big fan of Joe Madden, and one of the things he likes so much about Madden is Joe's positive approach about just about everything. And that was one of the big challenges Wakamatsu was facing when he took over the job as the Mariners manager, was to turn what was a very negative situation into a positive, and he has done that quickly.
Want to know the count on Longoria? Time is called. Only 14 major league teams in the modern era have gone from losing 100 games to a winning record. The Mariners sit today with 79 wins and 72 losses. There's 3 more wins, and they will have a winning record after a 100-loss season with a $100 million payroll. That's why he'll probably get some votes for manager of the year.
Yeah, they were 61 and 101 last year.
I know Wakamatsu was thrilled and honored to be named as an all-star coach by Joe Madden. So he got to go to St. Louis along with the rest of the Rays coaching staff and Trey Hillman, the Kansas City manager. Crawford on first, nobody out. 2-0 the count on Evan Longoria. Rays trailing 4-0. Another throw over. Crawford does not have a very big lead. CC looking for that elusive stolen base number 60. Felt he had it to wrap up the Toronto series, but he was called out at 3rd on a close play. The replay showed he probably was safe. He has never stolen 60 bases in one season in his career. Now it is 3-0, so a 4-pitch walk to Crawford and 3 straight misses to Longoria. The control struggles for Brandon Morrow that we have not seen in this game may be surfacing here in the 6th inning. There's a strike, poured down the middle, 3-1. They have already given the wave, or it looks like they're checking to make sure that the lefty is ready, but they are close to being ready with their lefty Garrett Olson, who's been warming up. There's ball 4. 2 straight walks to start the 6th for the Rays, trailing 4-0.
Well, does Wakamatsu on Zobrist hitting left-handed or right-handed? He's seen Morrow deliver 2 consecutive walks here, and he's going to come to get him.
Just like that. Morrow had been cruising along, but in 9 pitches, he walks the first 2 batters and will leave the game here in the 6th. Out of the game, though, with 2 runners on and nobody out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The UFL is coming to Tropicana Field. Head coach Jim Haslett on hand, along with the commissioner of the UFL. And the Tuskers, the Florida Tuskers, will play a game here on October 30th against Las Vegas. Tickets will go on sale Tuesday. They've been on sale at the Tropicana Field box office. So you can call the Tropicana Field box office to check out football right under the dome here at Tropicana Field for the Florida Tuskers. Take it on Las Vegas on October 30th. Garrett Olson takes over for Brandon Morrow. Olson appearing in game number 28 on the year for the Mariners. An ERA pretty high on the year, 5.65. It has been better in his last 16 appearances. It's below 4, 3.91. Breaking ball starts Ben Zobrist off with a strike, 0-1. Zobrist this season has hit better right-handed than left-handed. Hitting .311 right-handed compared to .276 as a lefty hitter. Spin by Olson, no throw. Carl Crawford on second, he walked on 4 pitches. Evan Longoria on first, he walked on 5 pitches. Rays trying to rally down 4-0 here in the 6th. Trying to hold up, but it's a called strike. And it's quickly 0-2 on Zobrist.
Yeah, that's a pretty good delivery on the changeup. Great arm action there.
Hard hit ground ball knocked down by Wilson. A throw to second in time for the force. Longoria forced at second. Zobrist lives on the fielder's choice, and Crawford moves to third.
Here's a look as Wilson was sort of caught back on that ball a bit. So it played him, and he could not come up with it cleanly. Hit hard. And he still managed to recover in time to get the out at second base.
So runners on first and third with 1 out, and Willie Ibar the batter. Ibar hit a home run in that Toronto series, right-handed. to give the Rays a 3-1 lead. It turned out to be a 3-1 victory. In that game, David Price beat Roy Halladay. Here they trail the Mariners and Brandon Morrow, and now Garrett Olson 4-0. The pitch is on the outside corner, and for 2 straight batters, Olson's been ahead 0-2.
Well, the last time out for Olson was 3 days ago in the Yankees series. He stranded 2 runners when he came into that game and pitched 2 1/3 scoreless innings.
Inside corner called third strike. Ibar thought it was inside. He's called out on strikes, and there's 2 away.
He's made some good pitches coming in out of the bullpen, including this fastball that just caught the corner. Or did it? That's the question. But he's shown the changeup and a good curveball, and he spotted that fastball close enough to convince Damian Beal that it was a strike. It appeared to be off the plate.
Yes, it did. Ibar may have had a case there, but a close pitch to take with 2 strikes. Here's Aki. There's another called strike.
And another curveball. So he's come in out of the bullpen and has made some very good pitches, and he's been ahead of all 3 hitters.
Olson delivers. And another strike. 0-2 on Zobrist, 0-2 on Ibar, now 0-2 on Iwamura.
Let's take a look at this fastball. Now that appeared to catch the plate.
That pitch just misses the corner, 1-2. Rays had a scoring threat in the second. Second and third, nobody out. That did just miss. And Akinori Uemura popped up in the second, then B.J. Upton walked, and the Mariners retired the next 2. Now Aki sends one deep to right center field. Long run, Gutierrez to the wall, looking up, it bounces off the wall. Crawford scores. Around third comes Zobrist, he'll score. Aki into third, sliding with a 2 RBI triple.
Here's our M. Scott replay. That pitch up and out over the plate. Well, how about that? Olson had made some great pitches, and the one he leaves up and out over the plate, Aki jumps all over it. Comes up with his 2nd triple of the year.
So Aki drives in 2. That's 22 RBIs during this injury-shortened season for Aki, and now another pitching change for the Mariners. We'll be back to tell you about the new M's pitcher after this. It's now 4-2 Mariners. Follow your Tampa Bay Rays all season long by logging on to The Heater, the official baseball blog of the St. Petersburg Times. Every day, Rays beat writers Mark Topkin and Joe Smith bring you thoughtful insight, breaking news, predictions, and much more only at TampaBay.com. Miguel Batista, who threw 2 shutout innings against the Rays in last night's game, right back out there tonight, appearing in his 52nd game.
Yeah, he got the win in the game last night, and boy, he came in and fired strikes.
Akinori Uemura at third, 2 outs, and there's a called strike at the knees. B.J. Upton thought it was low. It's 0-1. Batista retired all 6 batters he faced last night, including B.J. Upton flying out to center field. There's a pitch away, 1-1. Upton tonight has walked and struck out. Away, 2-1. EJ with a couple of hits and 2 RBIs in last night's game. He's had back-to-back games with multi-hit games. Trying to give the Rays another run here, down 4-2. Good rip out back to the screen. It's 2-2.
It's a pretty good pitch to hit right there. BJ's had a lot of movement in his swing prior to the swing. It's made it difficult for him to get started.
There's a ball ripped into left field for a base hit. We have ourselves a 1-run game on the RBI single by Upton as Akinori Uemura scores. The Rays rallying with 3 here in the 6th.
Well, he went down to get this pitch. Lines it into left center field, so he picks up the run batted in. After he went down and got a pitch. Pretty good pitch by Batista, who's been on twice tonight.
3rd straight game Upton's been on at least twice. He now represents the tying run for the Rays as Deanna Navarro digs in. Navarro with a throw to first to check Upton. Navarro is 0 for 2. He's flied to left and he's flied to right against the starter Brandon Morrow. Morrow gave up 2 runs while he was in there. One of these runs charged to Garrett Olson. Bobby thinks about a bunt. Not a great attempt there, but it's a pitch away. 1-0.
Navarro was lifted for Zahn last night with Batista in the game, and Zahn grounded out to short.
Joe had Navarro in there tonight primarily to catch Wade Davis, but he's going to give him a shot here to hit left-handed, where he has struggled this year, hitting just above 180 as a left-hand hitter. There goes Upton. The throw by Jojima, not in time. Upton steals a base, his 39th steal of the year.
Quick release by Jojima, but Upton steals it anyway. Jojima has been throwing very well this year, but the throw a little high, and they had to take the tag up and then down to Upton. And by the time Wilson put the tag on him, BJ had the steal.
The Rays a single away from tying this game. Upton on second, 2 outs. Pitch inside, 2-1. 2 RBI triple by Akinori Uemura, then an RBI single by B.J. Upton. All the runs scoring with 2 outs in the inning for the Rays. bounces up there. Nice stop by Jojima. It's now 3-1.
Backhanded pick by Jojima.
So Navarro ahead of the count, 3-1. Reed Brignac is on deck. Swing and a miss. It's now full count. EJ Upton at the bottom of your screen represents the tying run. Rays scoring 3 so far here in the 6th. Staying alive at 3-2. Swing and a miss. Navarro goes down swinging. Batista gets through the 6th with the lead, but the Rays score 3. It's now a 4-3 Seattle lead.
Aki's triple, part of a 3-run rally for the Tampa Bay Rays. 4-3 now here at Tropicana Field. Whit Watson back with you on a Web Wednesday. We're going to slide this one under the wire at about 9:10. We got a question from Jeff, who says he's 10 years old and asked, please answer this before 9:15, which I'm guessing must be his bedtime. So, Jeffrey, it's your night. The question is, if there's a pinch hitter, guys, how do you change it on your scorecard? Please, so Jeff can go to bed.
All right. I just kind of write it in the top half of the box on my scorecard. Speaking of the top line guy, let's go back to Dwayne. But how do you score that?
I'll just put the initials in right along the left and top. I'll put a P all the way up with a little H to the right of it, so that it's sort of situated in the upper left-hand corner of my empty box there in my scorebook, so that I know that there's a pinch hitter, and then I correspondingly put a PH next to the name of the pinch hitter in the lineup section of the scorecard. 2 strikes the count to Michael Saunders here as we start the 7th. Fly ball skied to left. Crawford's going to have to go back, looking over his shoulder, and that ball will be off the wall for extra bases. Saunders heads for third, and the throw is not in time. Skips beyond Longoria, but it's backed up by Cormier, and that's going to be a triple. The number 9 hitter, Michael Saunders, is 3 for 3 now. This a triple to open the 7th.
Well, we know Saunders can fly. He shows some power the other way. Crawford playing fairly shallow, tried to make it over the shoulder catch like a wide receiver, but he was dealing with the wall and tried to make it over the shoulder catch at the same time, so he didn't know how close he was, and that made it a tough play for him. And Saunders, with his speed, easily getting to third.
And to make it a little more difficult, that ball off a left-handed hitter started to slice away from Carl as he was headed toward the wall. So it's the second triple of the year for Saunders. And here's Ichiro. So a strike call. That same scenario that we've seen all night. Saunders singled in the 3rd, scored. He singled in the 5th and scored. And now the number 9 hitter's at 3rd with nobody out in the 7th. Ichiro lifts a fly ball to left. Crawford coming in to make the catch. Tag at 3rd. And the throw. Saunders will stay at 3rd base. Saunders went back to tag and then bluffed his way down the line a little bit and put on the brakes.
That is a big out for the Rays. With the infield in against Ichiro, you're asking for trouble, but with no outs in that situation, Bruce Hines did not take a chance to send Saunders.
Joe Madden out of the dugout. He's had the bullpen busy, and we're going to get a change here with Gutierrez due. We'll be back in a moment. Threatening. We'll take a look at the Buick Pontiac GMC dealers road ahead for the Rays. Day off tomorrow. Club will travel tomorrow evening to Texas and open the Friday weekend series. We'll be with you on Fox Sports Florida. Our coverage begins at 8 o'clock. James Shields and Derek Holland, the young left-hander, will do the pitching for Texas. Shields for the Rays in Game 1 of the last road series of the regular season. Chad Bradford becomes the 3rd Rays pitcher. 20th appearance for Bradford, 1-0 with a .482 earned run average. He throws a lot of ground balls, and the infield is in looking for perhaps a ground ball at someone out of Gutierrez. Pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Gutierrez with a couple of ground balls off the Rays starter Wade Davis. Davis pitched 5 2/3, gave up 4 runs, 2 earned runs. Cormier came on for 2/3, and now it's Bradford. That's a strike call. 1-1.
Gutierrez has never faced Bradford. That's always a nice advantage for a guy righty on righty. Chad Bradford coming from way down on the side, almost underhand, to face a guy for the first time.
Mariners with 9 hits, 4 runs, 9 hits. They had 4 runs, 5 hits last night. Pitch out just in case something may have been on by Wakamatsu, but that was not the case, and the count is 2-1. Gutierrez, a good bunter, and so that's what Madden was thinking about right there. He leads the league in sacrifice bunts, and he bunted his way on the first time up in the game last night. Now it's 2-1, and he fouls it out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think the pitch that can get him here is that little slider that Chad throws, that he starts at the right-hand hitter and sweeps across the plate, because it doesn't look like Gutierrez is real comfortable, and he may take that for a called third.
Counts 2-2 with a drawn-in infield. The runner at third is Michael Saunders. And a pop fly, not too deep to right. Zobrist under it. Saunders will tag. The catch made. Saunders will try to score. Throw is in time. They got him. Navarro kept him off the plate. Gutierrez with a fly ball to right, and Zobrist throws out Saunders to retire the side. Good positioning and a good throw for the final out. He never got to the plate, and Navarro tagged him out. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you. Mercedes E-Class attention assist of the game.
Nice throw by Ben Zobrist on the line, slightly up the first base side, but Navarro has the plate blocked, and then a quick tag, and Michael Saunders doesn't go straight in. Right here, as Navarro catches it, if he goes straight in there, he's probably safe, but he tries to go through and around the bag instead of straight in, and that cost him the play. But a nice job by Navarro keeping that plant foot on in front of the plate and then making that sweep tag, and Saunders tried to go around to no avail.
Yeah, Navi tried to move him off the plate and wound up doing exactly that. So it's still 4-3. Sean Kelly, the new pitcher. Reed Brignac takes the second pitch of the inning, down and in, and the count goes to 1-1 to Brignac.
As a runner's coming down that line, he has to see where the catcher's set up, and in that case Navarro was taking a throw to the first base side, and in that case it doesn't do him any good to go around. He has to go straight into home plate.
It's inside. Kelly, the fourth pitcher of the night for Seattle. Bautista worked the third of an inning, gave up a hit. and picked up a strikeout, and now Kelly with his mark of 5 and 3 on. Line drive base hit for Brignac. Leadoff single. Brignac has his first hit of the night.
Nice job by Reed. He had to be a little frustrated with Brandon Morrow as he struck out twice against him, and now he faces the reliever. 2-1 ahead of the count. Gets a fastball a little bit elevated, and that's a nice stroke into right field. We saw a lot of good swings up in Baltimore in that 4-hit night a week ago Monday, and tonight his first hit. Now it's a spot for the Rays to try and tie the game.
And just a little thing there, but he leveled that swing off a little better there, and that's something the Rays are really working with him on. Although he did hit that home run, he got the one pitch with that uppercut that he can handle and hit it out in Baltimore, but that was a much better swing, and the Rays will be happy to see that. Here's Jason Bartlett over to first, and Brignac is back in. Bartlett looking for his first hit. A couple of ground balls and a fly ball to center. Takes a strike. 0-1. Kelly worked an inning last night, gave up a hit and picked up a strikeout. On in the 7th inning here. Brandon Morrow worked 5 innings plus, 2 runs off him. 2/3 of an inning for Garrett Olson, and he was charged with a run. Batista and now Kelly. Ground ball third. Beltre to Lopez 1. First base 2 just in time. 5-4-3 goes the double play, and the Rays lose the leadoff base hit.
Pretty nice turn by the Mariners. Jason Bartlett, you know, is going to be flying down the line trying to beat it out, and it looks like they just barely get him. Let's take another look at that play at first. I mean, not even a half a step. He's just barely before he got that foot back on the bag. The throw hit the glove.
Carl Crawford takes the ball. Carl opened the 6th inning with a walk and scored the first of 3 runs in that frame. Catches the strike zone around the knees, and it's 1-1. Another thing, Beltre made just a perfect feed down to second on the ball hit by Bartlett. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's a good third baseman. And he showed why right there with that feed. This one deflects off the pitcher to second, and the throw to first by Lopez. That's a 1-4-3. Kelly, Lopez to Hanahan. On to the 8th, 4-3. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. All of that resulting in a one-run game as we open the 8th inning. It's 4-3 Seattle. 1-0 the count to Jose Lopez. Griffey next, and then Beltre. Chad Bradford on the hill to face the right-handed bat of Lopez, who fouls one into the stands. And the count is 1-1. Young man with not only a great seat, but hey, another souvenir.
He's got a television in front of him. He's got the luxury seats, and the line drive landed right in his chair.
2-1. Hey, and he had a souvenir, and he said, "Hey, there you go. You have one." How about that?
What a kid. He already had one baseball. Didn't want to be greedy. I like that. He probably won't give up his seat, though. That's a nice gesture. That is a nice gesture.
Line drive, and it's right at Longoria. That takes care of Lopez. He hit that ball very hard. And so that's the first out in the 8th inning. Longoria right there for it. Ken Griffey Jr.'s due, and the Rays are going to make a pitching change. Joe Madden wants the lefty. We'll be back in a moment. Just from in hair color as we look into the Rays bullpen. Full leaders, Balfour with 17 and Wheeler with 16. Brian Schaus, who's just now in the game, has 10 as middle relievers keep their teams in the game. You too can stay in the game with just from in hair color. He's on to face Ken Griffey Jr. and a chopper by the mound to short. Brignac has it in the throw to first. So Griffey is retired. This is the height of efficiency for Schaus. One pitch, one out. And that will conclude his evening, ladies and gentlemen. Another call to the bullpen. We'll be back in just a moment.
outing. One pitch. Ken Griffey Jr. chops it over his head. But Reed Brignac is there. The life of a specialist out of the bullpen.
It is an age of specialization. 2 outs. Base is empty. Russ Springer on to face Adrian Beltre. He pops it up. Foul back and out of play. That's a strike. Davis, Cormier, Bradford, Schaus, and Springer for the Rays. Down and away. It's a 1-1 count. Springer was in the game against the Blue Jays on Sunday. Pitched 2/3 of an inning. And a high fly ball up the right side. That's going to be foul. Zobrist over hustling for it, but it's out of his reach. Boy, great effort again by Ben Zobrist. I mean, that's just standard fare for him.
He had a long run. He had a mound to deal with there. Fans appreciate his effort.
Ground ball right side. It's going to go through. Beltre bouncing a fastball through the right side. And the Mariners now are in double figures with 10 hits.
This is very similar to last night. It's just such a typical Mariners game in which they don't score a ton of runs. They have more wins with 4 runs or less than any other team in the majors. And they also have more 1-run wins than any team in the majors. Last night was 4-3. Tonight's 4-3. Really good game, though, with a lot of close plays at the bases. Navarro with the tag out at home, throwing out another runner. It's been an enjoyable game, but a typical Mariners game.
Now Joe Jimenez, the pitch to him is low and outside. 4 runs for Seattle, 2 earned runs. The Rays have committed an error, and a pass ball figured in the scoring. Two and 0. Joe Jimenez popped to short, struck out swinging, and hit a fly ball to right. All of that was against Wade Davis. Three and 0. It's interesting. Davis left after 5 2/3, and this is the 9th man to bat since he left, and the Rays have used 4 pitchers for this, the 9th man to come to the plate. Joe Madden matching up right down the lineup. He swings 3 and 0, pops it up, foul ball. Navarro is there and makes the catch to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rays are down by a run. Evan Longoria will lead it off for the Rays in the bottom of the 8th, trailing 4-3. to be tobacco-free. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com for more information. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Back at Tropicana Field, bottom of the 8th, Evan Longoria leads off against Mark Lowe, the new pitcher for Seattle. The pitch is a strike. Longoria thought it might have been a little low.
Lowe's got great numbers this year. He's been the 8th inning specialist, 71 games, setting up for Artima.
Longoria fouls it out of play, 0-2. Zobrist next, and then Ibar. Both finished the game last night, picking up the save in the 4-3 Seattle win. That's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Remember the transition the Rays made when initially picking up Dan Wheeler, then solidifying the bullpen. You're seeing a similar thing happen with the Mariners. They've really solidified their bullpen this year, and that's been a big boost in them in their turnaround from the 101 loss season last year.
Yeah, their rotation has been #1 in ERA. There's a base hit shot through the right side, and their bullpen, I think, now is 3rd. So Lowe gives up the base hit. Let's check in with Wynn.
Dwayne will squeeze in one more question from our Web Wednesday. Kim and Leah watching in Sarasota, wondering about the walk-up music, the music you hear playing inside Tropicana Field as the batter makes his way to the plate. What's the story behind that?
Well, the music you just heard is pretty close to Ben Zobrist's heart right there. That's his wife. And they pretty much picked their own. Here's Zobrist now with a runner at first. A swing and a miss.
That's Juliana Zobrist, the tree that Ben Zobrist walks up to. And then you'll hear Willie Ibar, who's on deck. He used to go with Lowe from Flo Rida, and then he switched it up to a little Black Eyed Peas, Boom Boom Pow. So he's like in the top 40, the hip hop flavor.
Hey, you interviewed Flo Rida.
I did.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was great. 1 strike to count. Zobrist out in front on that changeup. He had a little trouble with a changeup earlier from the other side of the plate.
Good tailing action on that changeup. This guy's been impressive this year. He's got the combination of a good fastball, and when he can drop that changeup away to a left-hand hitter, he's very effective.
Fouls it back on a fastball in the mid to upper 90s. Longoria off first base. Zobrist takes it down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, watching Gutierrez play center field, I mean, he has been so important to the development of this pitching staff. They have some good arms, this Seattle staff, and they've changed speeds well, but they also know that he'll go get the ball in center field. This one is down, 2-2.
He almost caught up with that triple by Akinori Uemura. He does have great range, so important in any ballpark, but especially Safeco Field. He's got a lot of room to cover. And with Ichiro in right field, that's a nice little combination in the outfield.
And under it, pops it up, and that ball is a foul ball and a dead ball. It hit the catwalk up there in foul territory, which means it's a dead ball. Came down in fair territory on the infield, but where it struck initially in the catwalk was a foul ball.
Hit the B-ring catwalk, foul ball, dead ball as soon as it hits that in foul territory.
Ben Zobrist immediately back to work, asking Damian Beal if that pitch was up. There is ball 3. He took a pretty close pitch to run the count full.
You talked about Gutierrez, Dwayne, in his range as we look at that pitch. He allows the other corner outfielders, as you see that pitch miss away, to play a little more towards the lines. They are giving him a lot of room to roam in right center and left center.
Over to first. Longoria back in. Evan is single, on for the 3rd time tonight. 2 singles and a walk. Zobrist walks. Boy, that's a good at bat. After getting behind, he took a couple very close pitches and now draws the walk. That pushes Longoria into scoring position at second base.
That is a great at-bat plate appearance by Ben Zobrist. He got down 0-2 on a fastball and a changeup, and that's usually a deadly combination for a hitter. And then he fouls another pitch off. He takes a couple close pitches. That was just one of those Ben Zobrist plate appearances that doesn't show up as a big play in the box score, but it could be huge if the Rays come back and win this game.
Rick Adair, the pitching coach, heads to the mound. 2 men on with nobody out.
On our next edition of Inside the Rays, we take a look at 3 key players this year who have stepped up for the team. Jeff Niemann's poise and precision, making him an unlikely AL Rookie of the Year candidate. Jason Bartlett adding power at the plate. And the California kid closer, J.P. Howe, succeeding under pressure in the closer's role. It's Inside the Rays, a breakout season, premiering Friday at 7:30 on Fox Sports Florida.
Willie Ibar is stepping in. 1 for 3 on the night. That hit was a 2nd inning double. He swings and it's a high fly foul down the right side. Ibar taking a shot there, out a little early on the slider and hit it a long way, but well fouled. Strike 1. Hanahan pinched in a little bit at first, and the Mariners on that first pitch halfway thought the bunt might be on. A swing and a miss on the second pitch. Fastball, 0-2. Ibar against Mark Lowe, their 5th pitcher. Down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A little surprised that the Mariners were expecting bunt in this situation. The Rays haven't bunted much with Willie Ibar. He wasn't able to take advantage, though, and with 2 strikes, they were able to back off.
Longoria second, Zobrist at first. Way high. Fastball. That pitch up and away. He tried to find a little extra on that one and missed badly with it. 2-2.
There is no one warming up for Seattle. This has been how they've rolled this entire season. Mark Lowe in the 8th, David Arsman in the 9th. Lowe did get to pitch the 9th last night, but it's his inning right now.
Ground ball right side, picked up down there by Hanahan. They get the force at second. He got the throwaway to Josh Wilson. Longoria advances to third as Ibar is safe on a fielder's choice. Zobrist, the first out of the inning, at second.
This is not an easy play as Hanahan is off balance and has to find a clear lane to throw to get the force out on Zobrist, which he does. No chance at the relay.
It's Fernando Perez taking over as the runner for Ibar. So the Rays have some great speed at first base. Longoria is at third. Makinori Iwamura will be the hitter. Jason Vargas, a lefty, is up in the bullpen now for Seattle. Perez back in at first base. Rays down by a run, men on the corners, one out. Hockey tripled home 2 runs in the 6th. Pitch is high, a fastball. That one registering at 97.
There's Vargas. Not sure why he's warming, unless maybe they're looking down the line at Brignac.
The third and a turn to first. Perez off the bag again at first. Way high again. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 6th inning triple by Aki. Chased home Crawford and Zobrist with that. Eventually scored on Upton's base hit. The Rays had trailed 4-0. That made it 4-3 when Iwamura scored. So now here's Aki in the bottom of the 8th. A 2-0 count. And ball 3 is down. 3 balls, no strikes. Single, a walk, and a fielder's choice ground ball. And 3-0 the count to the Rays' second baseman. There's ball 4. That'll load the bases. That moves Perez into scoring position at second. Aki draws the walk. They're loaded for B.J. Upton. Upton has walked, struck out, and has driven in a run with a base hit. He went down to get a pitch in the 6th inning and drove in Iwamura. B.J. did not face low last night.
Been a frustrating year for B.J. Upton, but 5 hits in his last 3 games. A chance at a big base hit here. If he can finish strong, there's probably nobody else on the team who could use a good final 2 weeks of B.J. Upton.
He swings, and it's a high popper down the left side. And that one is going to wind up out of play. 1 strike.
A lot of conferences with Jojima and Lowe. Lowe was very effective closing the door last night. Tonight he's missed the strike zone a little bit.
Longoria at third, conferencing with Foley. Perez second. Iwamura first. The 0-1 pitch. Oh, Upton takes it on the outside corner and stares that corner down.
Really nice slider right there, tight, hitting the outside corner. There's our overhead, just clipped the corner of the plate.
Oh, 2 now. That's high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lowe is digging down out there here in the 8th inning in this situation. BJ down in the count. He lays off that slider. 2-2. Base hit, a couple of walks. The out came on the force play. Two to Upton, and a chopper into left field, a base hit. Longoria scores. Here comes Perez. He scores standing up, and the Rays take a 5-4 lead. Upton chopped it through the infield to the left and over the head of Beltre and into left, and the Rays have put up 2 here in the 8th.
Bossman Jr. getting down to the count, 0-2. Then it was 2-2, and this chopper over Beltre's head. 3 RBIs tonight for Upton, 2 RBIs last night. Another multi-hit game. It's been a tough year, but maybe this final 2 weeks will make that guy feel a little bit better about things going into the offseason.
Pitching change coming for Seattle. Rays lead 5-4. Back in a moment. Base hit.
Time now for the Coors Light freeze cam. So we've talked about Upton getting that front foot down. You can see it right there on the freeze cam. And even though his body is going through the ball, he keeps his hands back long enough to chop a ball over Adrian Beltre's head. So even when he shifts that weight against a guy who can throw hard and his foot's down and his body goes through, he's got quick enough hands to get through the ball for a ground ball base hit. That is our Coors Light freeze cam.
So BJ's at first, Aki's at second. The Rays have taken a 5-4 lead. Here's Deanna Navarro with the lefty. Vargas in here. It gives Navarro a chance to swing from his natural side, and he's been much better right-handed. 1 ball to no strikes. Vargas recalled from Tacoma on the 1st of this month. 2 balls, no strikes.
If it's happened this year, I don't recall it, or it hasn't happened often, where a lefty has been brought in to face Navarro to turn him around. He has been struggling as a left-hand hitter, but righty, as he said, not only is more natural position, but he says he hardly has to work at it. It just always comes to him. Lefty's been the struggle for him this year.
He pops it up. Foul ball straight back, and that's going to carry out a play. 2-1. Vargas had been up before with Seattle, back and forth between Tacoma and Seattle. He had started at Tacoma, and 9 starts there. It was 4-3 with a .314 earned run mark. 2-1 the count to Navarro. He swings, and it's a high fly ball back into left. Saunders to the track for it. Back to tag at second, but the runners will hold as Hockey got back to second, thinking about trying to advance and then deciding better of it on the fly ball to the warning track and left.
Hockey showing good hustle to get back, but then he realized that Saunders was ready to throw. He would have taken advantage if Saunders wasn't in position to make the throw. So good idea by Hockey, but no chance to advance.
2 outs, and now it's going to be Reed Brignac against the left-hander.
Interesting that Joe decides to let Reed hit here. He does have some options with Zobrist in the outfield, but he's going to see if Reed can hit against the lefty.
Turn, look back there. Hockey at second and B.J. Upton at first. That's too low.
Joe would really have 2 options if he pinch hit for Reed. He could give up the DH and let Jason Bartlett play short in the last inning, which he probably wouldn't want to do, although Zobrist hasn't played a lot of short lately, so he might consider that, but instead he's going to see what the young man from Louisiana can do.
That's a strike. Looping fly ball, short left center, and it's caught by Wilson, the shortstop, with his back to the infield to retire the side. B.J. Upton's base hit, chased home 2 to give the Rays a 5-4 lead. We go to the 9th. your favorite Rays moment from this year at ask.therays@fox.com, or visit sunsportstv.com and click on the Ask the Rays button on the Rays page and submit your entry. Tune in to the premiere of the show. That'll be next month on Sun Sports, and see if your moment made the cut. Chris Richard now at first. The new pitcher for the Rays is Randy Choate. He's on to face Jack Hanahan as the Rays try to stop the lower end of the Seattle lineup. There's the strike. Hanahan is 2 for 3. Wilson next has a base hit, and Saunders following them 3 for 3.
Randy Choate, lefty specialist, in here just to face Hanahan.
Going away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Choate pitched a third of an inning in last night's game. Got out of the 7th inning when he was brought on to face Ichiro.
And Boffer will be in for the next batter.
A little tap foul. It's now 1-2. By the way, Josh Wilson made quite a catch on that little popper off the bat of Brignac to end the 8th inning. Pitch a little wide. 2-2.
Already Choate's not nearly as efficient as Brian Schaus.
Yeah, it's hard to get any better than that.
1 pitch, 1 out.
Davis, Cormier, Bradford, Schaus, Springer, and now Choate. And a little tap by the mound. Aki's there with a pickup and the throw, and that takes care of Hanahan. So he's retired to open the 9th inning. We'll have the Rays live the post game immediately following the game tonight.
Joe might let Choate face the righty here. He's looking down his card. The young hitter, Matt Tuiasosopo, doesn't have a whole lot of at-bats at the big league level. He might let Choate go.
So Wilson lifted for Tuiasosopo. See 1 for 6 on the year. And just a little bit outside. Two balls, no strikes. One-run game. We're in the 9th. That's a strike that picks up the edge, and now it's 2-1.
That's a big call for the Rays. It's 3-0 here if they don't get this call, and that's a little bit off the plate, it looks like.
Out there again, this time wide. 3 balls and a strike.
Same pitch, pretty much. This was called a strike last time. They were both balls, but that was called a strike last time.
And a big chop toward the middle. Hockey gloves and throws, and a one-hop in. 2 gone. Tuiasosopo retired.
Nice play by Aki. That's not an easy play. A lot of topspin on that ball, moving away from the bag at first. He's got to make sure he catches it cleanly, and then the transfer off balance, and he one-hops it over, but enough space there where Richard can make the easy play on the one-hop.
So 2 outs, and Bill Hall will pinch hit now for Michael Saunders. Saunders had gone 3 for 3, and with Choate out there, it's Hall. to pinch hit. And Choate will stay on. Balfour's down in the bullpen, and that's kind of an interesting matchup there. Tap foul, strike one.
Balfour is not a guy that Joe wanted to see match up with Ichiro. 3 for 3 with a home run. So with all his notes on his card, the one thing he said he had a big red mark on was Ichiro versus Balfour. So he's like, all right, my only way to avoid that is let Choate face a couple of righties.
Yep. And a foul ball. 0-2.
Randy has been good in save situations for the Rays. In the few chances he's made, he's 4 for 4.
Two strikes the count to the pinch hitter Hall. Down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, I'll tell you, coming back to get the pinch hitter Tuiasa Sopo, very big for Choate. They got hand-to-hand for the first out. Both outs coming on ground balls handled by Iwamura. And now he's 1-2 to Hall. That's wide. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Center field. Back goes Upton, feeling for the wall. He leaps. He got it. This game is over. Upton went back to the wall, found himself feeling for the fence, and made a leaping catch to end this game. And the Rays are 5-4 winners. Upton got the base hit to chase home 2 in the 8th, and he